We got some real life drama. These are your stories. So those involved: me, 28 female, fiance, 29 male, father, 53, stepmom, 47, fiance's brother, 37. Yes, it's a family affair. My fiance and I have been together for 4 years and engaged for a year. He's met my whole family and I've met his, except his older brother. His brother is a Marine and has been away. My fiance loves and looks up to his brother and has been sad that he can't get leave for the wedding. But I've been working behind the scenes with his sister and yes, his brother, to surprise him at our rehearsal dinner. Please film that and send that to me. Are you kidding me? I will cry. I had been so anxious and excited for this surprise. It turns out I'd be the one surprised. I guess I should have read the whole thing before I start getting excited. So the night before the rehearsal dinner, I spoke with his brother after his sister picked him up from the airport. He told me he planned on not only being surprised, but also telling his brother that instead of re-upping in 3 months, he's retiring and moving home for good. I was so happy for my fiance, as he always wishes that he could hang out more with his brother. The next day, D-Day, everything seemed fine, except that one of my bridesmaids was MIA. Uh-oh. Her husband was also a groomsman. He said that she went to her sister's because there was some sort of family emergency and would meet him at the dinner. The rehearsal went well, but right after, before the dinner, the MIA bridesmaid showed up and pulled one of the other bridesmaids. I was too focused on my surprise for my fiance to investigate. Literally 5 minutes before I was about to bring out my fiance's brother, the two bridesmaids came out yelling and screaming at their significant others, who are both groomsmen. That's when all hell broke loose, and I mean all of the skeletons were blasted out of the closet. Both groomsmen were sleeping with the same woman, and who was the woman? Dun dun dun. I was not prepared. My stepmom. I need to talk to people. I need to share with a real human. This is crazy. I need to hug my bear. I'm so stressed. This is great. Not for you, for my entertainment. But wait, that's not all. Because all of this was unfolding, I looked at my fiance to exchange what the F looks, but he was sweating. I mean bullets, something he does when he's nervous or scared. Then I followed his line of sight and he was exchanging looks with my stepmom. He then looked at me and ran over to me, grabbed my hand, and started towards the exit. My bridesmaids then called out to my fiance saying he also has been sleeping with my stepmom? Your fiance? Oh my God. I need help. At first I thought, no way, but when I looked back at my fiance, his silence and the look on his face said everything. I suddenly felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, like me. Like I was hovering over this mess of a scene while it unfolded. Everyone was yelling and screaming at each other. Stepmom was crying as she confirmed it was all true, while denials and lame-ass explanations were being thrown around. It was surreal, and suddenly I felt my legs give out and I was about to hit the ground when I was caught and carried out by my fiance's brother. We'll call him Z. I could hear exclamations of, "What are you doing here? And when did you get out here?" But suddenly it all just sounded muffled to me. The next thing I knew, Z was pulling up to a cabin. We sat in silence for what seemed like hours. He then spoke and said he bought this cabin to live in when he came home for good in 3 months. We got out and he helped me inside and I was still visibly shaken. I don't remember a whole lot that first night, but the next morning I woke up to find my phone had been blowing up all night and morning. Oh my God, so you didn't even get a wedding. I am so stressed for you. This bear is perfect. It is the storm cloud bear, and that's exactly what the hell is going on. Z said he'd silence my phone so I could rest. He made breakfast and said whenever I was ready to talk, he would listen and never pushed me to say anything or respond to anyone. He just let me be. Honestly, it was just comforting to know that he was around. Finally, around 7 p.m., I asked if he would sit with me while I reached out to my bridesmaids. We were all on speakerphone. Bridesmaid 1 said that she discovered her husband had been having an affair with his little sister. What's happening? She told her that he had been bringing his AP to their parents' house as his parents were out of country. The little sister took pics of them and a video of them coming out of his bedroom kissing. His old bedroom kissing. This is insane. Then last week, a strange car pulled up. Not her brother, but the same woman got out. They had a key and little sis took more pics. So little sister is the one who discovered the affair, not the one in the affair. I think that's what's happening here. It was just written a little weird. And it was the other groomsmen. Bridesmaid 1 then started following stepmom as she knew exactly who she was. The little sis thought she was a cheap prostitute. LOL. That's when she saw my ex-fiance with her at a cheap motel, and yes, she had pictures. She apologized for how she went about exposing everything, but honestly, she was distraught and not in her right mind. Both their significant others finally admitted to everything. I stopped them there as at this point, I didn't care how it started, only that it happened. What a way. Let's tell everyone on the wedding day. Not a second sooner. She sent me the pics and apologized profusely. I then called my father again on speaker as I just needed someone else to hear this crazy, unbelievable story, so I knew I wasn't losing my effing mind. My poor father was a mess. Oh my God, I forgot about your dad. Stepmom has been cheating on dad. My father said that she told him she had been blackmailed into it. That first bridesmaid's husband found some provocative videos of her on a porn site from her younger years and threatened to expose her. I asked him if he believed her and what he planned to do. My father and I are a lot alike, as he said he didn't care how it started. She was effing 3 guys for the last 3 months. I told him I had pics and a video and she looked like she was enjoying herself. What an awkward conversation to have. Your father and your fiance have been intimate with your stepmom. After I hung up, I then called my soon-to-be ex. He had the nerve to be mad at me for running off with his brother. Okay. He even accused me of sleeping with him. Haha, hell no. I lost my shite. I reminded him of my past. I am an SA survivor, sending you all my love, and how it takes a lot for me to feel even being remotely comfortable enough to be intimate with someone, and how he was the only one of 2 partners I've ever had, the first being before the assault happened, and how dare him accuse me when he was the one cheating with my stepmom, no less. I told him I worked with his sister to surprise him with getting his brother here to celebrate our happy day with us. He then started crying and saying he was so sorry and it was a mistake, and he let his best friends talk him into getting all his dirty fantasies out of his system, as he felt like he couldn't do those things with me because of my past. I lost my shite again. Me too, girl. I screamed at him how they knew about what happened to me. I told him he was a disgusting human being for telling them what happened to me. I told him about that in confidence, and he blabbed to his buddies over beers about me being held captive for 2 days and assaulted by someone I could trust. Oh, hell no. I told him he made me sick. Then he turned on me and started to blame me. But before it got too bad, Z interrupted with a firm and a bit scary enough. He took over and told his brother to man up and take responsibility for his disgusting behavior. I stayed at the cabin with Z for the first week, and he was honestly my rock. He told me I could stay at the cabin indefinitely and gave me a key. He had to report back after that week, and now wasn't sure if he was going to retire at all. My father is divorcing the stepmonster. You would think drama was done, but no. Oh my gosh. The ex had a mental breakdown and checked himself into a mental health facility for 2 weeks. When he got out, he proclaimed himself a new man. She put a rolling eyes emoji. Now he's got his family, not Z, and friends campaigning, wow, for him to get a second chance. I ultimately did decide to meet with him for closure, okay? My cousin went with me but waited in the car. It did not go well. Luckily, my cousin was with me. It started out fine. He wanted to come clean and give me closure. He said he confided in his best friend about my essay because he wanted advice and support on how to be a better partner for me. Insert huge eye roll here. At first he was supportive, but then he started getting very curious about our sex life. He told my ex that he had been seeing someone for about a month. He said it was just sex and nothing emotional. He actually told my ex it helped him bring him closer to his wife. Vomit emoji. Long story short, that's how he found out the other woman was my stepmother, and that is how it started. I just sat there and I finally said, I've heard enough. I told him after this moment, I never want to hear from him again. That's when the begging and pleading began. He said it was the only time he ever cheated, and after the wedding, he was never going to see her again. Thanks so much. That's when he started in about his brother. He told me his brother just swooped in and saved the day. He said I looked really comfortable in his arms as he carried me out. Well, I probably was, because I was about to faint on the floor. I started walking away and he jumped up and grabbed me. That's when my cousin jumped out of the car and maced him. We took off. Wow, this really is a movie. I messaged his brother because he asked me to check in after to let him know what was said. He was pissed, but made sure that I was okay. The next day, all hell broke loose again. My ex went to everyone who would listen to spin the narrative that I've been having an affair with his brother. Of course he did. Present time. So it's been 2 weeks since meeting with my ex. I filed a restraining order on my ex and bridesmaid one's husband, or soon to be ex-husband. My ex has nonstop been harassing me through calls, texts, and showing up at my job and around town where I am. He even blocked me in my parking spot at the store. I'm still living in the cabin with Z and have moved in permanently, which has only fueled the rumors started by my ex, but at this point, I don't care. The people closest to me who really matter know the truth and don't even have to question me because they know my character. Anyway, bridesmaid one's ex started harassing, saying that it was all my fault for his wife leaving because I told her to leave. Of course, it didn't have anything to do with him having an affair or bringing his BFFs into this sick affair. Gross. Luckily for me, not so much for him. Z was close by when he grabbed me and Z took him down. He didn't hurt him, just had him in a safety hold until the police arrived. Bridesmaid one's ex tried to spin assault, but the store let the police view the surveillance footage, which clearly showed the ex being the aggressor, so that's how I got the restraining order on him. My father's divorce was pretty simple. She didn't fight him or ask for anything. She did admit that her excuse was a lie and admitted to having a sex addiction. This saga is ongoing, so if there's anything else major that happens, I will update. That was a wild ride. Wild. I just want to give you a hug. All right, next up, Catman Dawn. What a cool name. Why I stopped talking to my sister. My sister and I are 14 months apart and grew up as best friends. Many people have asked if we were twins for years. My issue with her started in 2018 when my girlfriend and I broke up and I moved out. I didn't have a vehicle at the time to go get my things, so my sister offered to pay for a U-Haul. I got a hold of my ex and made a date to get my things. Unknown to me, she made other plans with my sister to go alone to get my things. At the time, I owned a safe with all of my valuables in it. I had cash, gold, silver bars, all my gold and diamond jewelry, a Rolex watch my grandfather brought home after World War II, my other grandfather's gold wedding band, my will, and around $8,000 in cash. Damn. I was at my daughter's where I was staying at the time when I saw a U-Haul pull in, and it was my sister. I got up to get dressed. When I went outside, she had the back door up on the van and about 1/5 of my stuff was there. She got nothing from my 2 storage lockers. She didn't get my safe. She didn't even call me to tell me she was going. My ex talked her into keeping it a secret meetup, so she didn't have to see me again. I told my sister that everything she left behind that I can't get is worth over $12,000, and all she did was shrug and tell me I owed her for the U-Haul too. At the time, my father was in care because of dementia, and my mother was in a senior's home, same as dad's, after a heart failure and valve replacement, and she went in there and got mom worked up until she had another heart failure, complaining about me. Mom told her she is 100% wrong in what she did, and she was completely pissed off about the Rolex her father brought home because it was supposed to go to my eldest daughter when my mom passed away. My oldest sister got so pissed at her for losing the heirlooms, she won't speak to her, and it is unforgivable. She reached out to me to ask if I'd help her patch things up with mom and our sister. I told her to get everything of mine and apologize to me in front of the family. I'm confused. Why can't you just now go and get the stuff? Since she can't do that because what my ex didn't sell or steal, the police said I have nothing to work with. They went into her apartment and found nothing. Then went and found the 2 storage lockers were empty within 3 days after I left. So there was nothing in there when my sister went. Which is probably why my ex didn't take her to the lockers. I tried taking my ex to court, but was told I have 0 evidence and even less of a chance of getting my things back. So until I get everything back, I have cut my sister out of my life. My father was in such bad shape, he didn't even know what was going on, but my mother spent her last 3 years living being pissed off at my sister. I watched my mother to have a peaceful time before her end came. No, I'm so sorry. I am crying thinking of my mother's tears now. I love you, Miss Joss, and all our sassy friends. We are all sassy friends, and I hope I see you in the comment section so we can just shower you with so much love. Why would your sister meet with your ex in some secret thing? Like, that's still, to me, I'm like, wait a second. My sister would never. Are you kidding me? The next one is anonymous. I, 47 female, have been with my partner, 59 male, for 24 years. Wow, that's impressive. No offense to everyone, but like, dating is scary these days. In 2016, I was really struggling financially after losing over $44,000 in a scam. The Jen Shaw one. If anyone is familiar with that, no, you need to reach out to me personally. Are you kidding me? I just started watching The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because people were like, it's, you know, crappy reality TV in the best way. And I just watched the season of the Jen Shaw scam where she went to jail. I'm shocked. I need to speak with you. I'm so intrigued. I'm so sorry about your loss though. That's crazy. I was working only part-time at the time and literally had no money. The debt was mounting due to the scam, and I was worrying about paying my rent and other basic necessities. My partner suggested I move in with him. He lives in a 2-story house that was his parents'. While I had my reservations about it, the thought of no mortgage payment sounded great. He also had paid off his cars and lent me one so that I could get around town. So I agreed, and in August 2017, I officially was a resident. You know how I said I had reservations? Those became apparent. Because it was his parents' house, it was filled with their stuff. His father had passed away in 2001, and his mother, 89 at the time, was in a retirement community. My partner, I'll call him Gary, lived in the house with his mother and took care of her before she went to the community. However, he was content to use their dishes, furniture, etc. On moving day, we had a U-Haul to transfer my stuff. Due to the lack of space, most of my items ended up in the room above the garage. The rest of the house was filled with boxes, bins, and of course, my cats. At first, it didn't bother me, as anyone who's moved knows it takes some time to get things sorted. However, when I broached the subject about where to put my things, I never really got an answer. This happened frequently. If I suggested moving something, he would become defensive. I began to realize that this house was a museum to his family and that my needs didn't matter. Over time, I just stopped asking. I moved even more of my stuff to the room above the garage. I even had my bed and my couch hauled away by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Then in January of 2022, his mother passed at 95. Wow, what a long life. That's beautiful in itself though. 95 years. Like I'm hoping to hit 100. I really am. I think I could do it. As if I get any choice. The house was transferred to his name. He was officially the homeowner and could do what he wanted with it. He slowly started making some repairs, new gutters, new foundation, a generator, etc. While the house does need these things, not much has been done to the museum. He keeps saying that he wants it to be our house and not theirs. He might start working on something, but then he just stops. I have purchased things over my 7 years living there. I have a shopping addiction. LOL. You guessed it. Most of it automatically goes into that room above the garage. Girl, you might as well just move in there and make it an apartment. Get your bed back and get your couch back and you live in the apartment above the garage. Make it your own. Weekends would be a great time to get a lot of work done, filling boxes with china, cleaning out the garage, etc. But he would rather laze around. I can understand that as he's worked hard all week and wants time to recharge. However, I've brought the topic up numerous times that he could do something. Even something as cleaning out a drawer one day and rearranging a closet the next. Doesn't have to be much, but anything is progress. Of course, he ignored that. I've also mentioned numerous times that the house is dividing us. He agrees, but once again, does nothing. Here's the thing. Back in 2020, I decided to work for myself. I quit my low-paying call center job and developed a YouTube channel. So now I do that, but do not have enough subs yet to be monetized. Well, girl, let me know your channel. Shout it out in the comments. However, as our debt is low now, I filed bankruptcy to end the debt from the scam. We can live off a single income. Plus, he inherited some money, so we are doing all right, which is good as we have 3 cats to feed, LOL. I really do not want to get another job as I like being my own boss now and being independent. So I feel I'm a bit dependent on him because he did help me out during the bankruptcy. Part of me feels like I have no right to complain. He put a roof over my head, gave me a car to drive, and literally pays all the bills. Maybe I'm being too hard about the house given everything he has done for me. That's tricky. I understand your feelings about the house. You want it to feel like yours, and I understand he's grieving. But yeah, you can't force his hand, unfortunately. Like, you can't force him to make the changes, which is difficult. I still say we make the room above the garage your own space, though. Like, is that a livable room? Like, to even make your own so like, you can go up and at least have some of your own space and things? What does it look like? Can we DIY? Call me. I'll help the renovation process. Grab your beverage of choice. You know what time it is. Hydration. Yeah. Cheers. Wow, we're taking a sip. Look at my nails that I did. I did the nail challenge. My audience picked what nail design I had to try and do since I'm a beginner. If you missed it, it's on my shorts channel. You can't see it, but they're little fruits. I'm very impressed for being my second time. Next up, Anonymous. Hey Joss and the internet family. That's us. I love that for us, don't you? I'm 40 and have had one huge eye-opening experience. My guy and I have been an item since December 2000. I thought that said 2020. Damn. High school sweethearts. And now we have 3 beautiful babies. Legit all different versions of me. Anyways, I found out about a full affair he was having. And here I was all excited about your love. It's been about a year since this happened. It's been the most recent traumatic thing to happen in my life. One traumatic thing was when my parents divorced. My grandmother had custody of me till about 12, then let me move with my mom. Legally, I was supposed to stay with her until 18. So my husband knew of what I went through and ran with it since I swore I would never get divorced. I would never put myself nor my kids through that pain. Who knew we would actually be a family of 5 one day. So there, he saw that opportunity and chose to have a double life. I'm completely shattered. It's been about 3 years since we have lived together and I miss him terribly. He says he wants this marriage, this family, yet fails to prove it. I don't understand why he's so two-faced. This hurts so much. We will hang out for a while with the kids and we end up arguing. He leaves back to his place and here we are making up over texts. One thing to throw in is that he needs to sober up. Not only that, but we know so many people who have died from alcohol-related accidents. We've been to a lot of funerals, one recent, and he still hasn't changed. I have. I'm proud to be sober. I'm living a changed life and wished he was by my side. I need our babies to have a better life and I need to create it for them. I know I'm moving forward with or without him. I just can't see myself with anyone but him. I hate that for you so much. Moving on after a heartbreak is the hardest thing to do. Even when they cheat. Even though when I got cheated on, that one hurt the most, man. And they were so wrong in that. And yet my heart was just like, could not let go of the life that he and I had built together at the time because we lived together and it was like my whole world came crashing down. So I can't imagine when kids are involved. You're doing all the right things. Staying sober, focus on your life, focus on your children. You can't force someone to change and it is the most frustrating thing. Don't waste your energy or your time or your progression focusing on the fact that he won't. You know what I mean? You gotta take care of you. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.